Another clip from the Sam Seder Jubilee thing has gone viral. This one posted by AJW and has 7 million views now on Twitter. I haven't watched it yet, but people are saying Sam Seder got wrecked in this clip.
Hey. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so I would like to touch on the religious fundamentalist aspect.
Yeah.
Are you an atheist?
I'm a Reformed Jew. I don't have a strong belief in the existence of God, but I don't think that religion in and of itself is bad.
Okay, so
the proposition that Sam Seder put up was, unless you're a billionaire religious fundamentalist or xenophobic nationalist, voting for Trump was a mistake. And so the blonde chick, Sarah Stock, she was arguing on behalf of their xenophobic nationalism being good. And I think this guy's here to argue that religious fundamentalism is also good.
I don't have a strong belief in the existence of God, but I don't think that religion in and of itself is bad.
Okay, so what's wrong with religious fundamentalists? So like when you said trans rights and women's rights or something like that?
Well, the problem I have with religious fundamentalists, and really more, I guess it's really theocrats, is that they want to impose their morality that comes from their religion on the rest of us. And I don't.
But morality, from your view, is going to be a preference, right? It's not morality; it's a preference. So morality without a foundation is going to reduce you to a preference.
Well, I have a foundation for my morality.
Which is what?
It's a humanist vision of what basically creates as little suffering as possible for as many people.
Okay, so you're like a consequentialist? Utilitarian?
I don't really bother myself with being a consequentialist or a utilitarian.
It's always going to reduce.
It's interesting for a guy who's like basically like built a living off being a moral grandstander to not be able to just kind of describe his framework when after 2,000 years of human philosophy, whatever you believe probably isn't new. There's probably somebody has like laid it all out already. And you would expect a guy like Sam Seder to know that and at least have an answer ready when somebody says to him like, what's your moral framework? He's like, I just don't like suffering. Okay,
you to a preference. So if you say that killing is wrong and I say it's right, you would really have no contention with that.
Well, no, I don't base my understanding of civil society on religion. And so we have a civil society. Okay. We have laws that we have decided as a society in a democratic way. And for some people, it's okay for it to be informed by their religion. That's okay.
Okay, perfect. So if tomorrow society comes together and we say, hey, trans folks don't deserve rights, you would be okay with that?
No, I would be against it, but I mean, it would be
morally right under your view.
Not morally right. No. I'm not talking about morals.
Okay,
here.
so here's where I'm getting to, right? Religious foundations provide an ethical framework for one to live their life off of.
I believe you can have an ethical framework without religion.
And if we take the leftist view to its logical tail end, to its extreme view, you have low reproductive birth rates. You have a reproductive dead end, so two men together can't reproduce unless they have to take from a healthy straight couple. Religion provides this foundation where you do prioritize the nuclear family.
So do you have a problem with gay people being married?
It's not that I have a problem. I just don't see a justification for why they ought to be gay outside of it just feels good. Can you give me another justification?
I have problems with it. How much time you got? I've done whole like 2-hour debates on the morality of homosexuality. And guess what? It's a layup. People like Sam Seder will just be like they think it's a gotcha. Like, oh, do you have a problem with homosexuality? But it's like, it's actually really fucking easy to argue against and really hard to defend. But anyway, let's see where this is going.
Well, I think maybe that's the way they were born.
Okay, what about pedophiles? Are they born that way?
They may be, yeah.
Okay, so should we let a pedophile off the hook since they were born that way?
No, I think we as a society is decided.
Should implement.
This is exactly the kind of line I would take, by the way, if I was debating it. Which is like, if pedophilia is wrong, And just because you use the born this way defense, you don't give a pass to pedophiles to go out and be pedophiles. Now you need to explain why being gay is okay. And I already know where this whole fucking thing is going. I know where this whole, okay, so he's going to say that. Sam Seder is going to say, oh, but it's children can't consent. And then the go-to answer to that is, are you okay with incest? And if Sam Seder is smart, like Destiny, and he's thought about this enough to have like consistency in his viewpoint, he'll say, yes, incest is fine. If he doesn't sign off on incest and bite the bullet, then he loses, because you can't have homosexuality without incest if the whole thing that you're hinging on is consent. That's how that goes.
Duties to prevent them from acting on that innate urge, correct?
Well, I think between consenting adults, it's a different thing than.
Okay, so you're okay with a
children.
45-year-old dad with a 19-year-old
I haven't watched this. I haven't watched this. I just know exactly how this goes.
daughter as well. Incest.
No,
If they consent, you're okay with that,
no. I think society has also determined that it's like it's not beneficial.
right? There's
for-
duties
What?
and obligations that we have. So
Society has determined that it's not beneficial. Right. So now we're back to what is beneficial about homosexuality. Like now, the problem is now that you didn't bite the bullet on that and just be a disgusting, unrepentant degenerate the way somebody like Destiny would do. Now you have to make a meaningful distinction between incest and homosexuality, which is like borderline impossible to do. You can pretend that like, oh, well, it's the inbreeding and diseases or whatever, but you can take that out of the equation, right? And then say, okay, well, is it okay as long as they're not procreating? Like if a guy gets a vasectomy, is it okay for him to do incest then? Also, I like how he said 19-year-old woman, because he knew that Sam Seder would have like an instinctual like disgust reaction to that. Whereas if he just said like two 40-year-old brothers, it's just gay sex at that point. You've already, like, why would you care, really? Because they can't procreate. So it's just two gay dudes having butt sex who happen to be brothers. Why would you have a problem with that? So he went for an example that was a little bit more likely to elicit a disgust reaction, which was smart.
religion provides
Not that it should be more disgusting than two brothers, but you have to understand the way these people think.
those duties. Life isn't about
Well, but
freedom
also
and
I can-
exercising what you want.
I mean, well, you want to impose your religious doctrine
No,
on me,
because
and
you
I
just
don't want
admitted.
that.
You just admitted.
You want to impose your religion. He said it's for society. He said, so earlier this guy said, if society decides that we don't want trans rights, is that good? And Sam Seder is like, no, that's not moral. And then this guy's like, okay, is incest moral? And he's like, no, society has ruled against incest. See how he's like all over the fucking place? Again, this is a guy who is supposed to be like a great liberal pundit and who hasn't even thought through the logical conclusions of liberalism, which is that incest has to be okay as long as there's consent. And maybe you can throw up a couple other little protestations about procreating and whatever, but as long as those things aren't involved, then, sometimes they'll say, oh, well, it actually, incest creates harm and suffering because when people hear about it, they're so disgusted, which is funny because that argument can also be used against homosexuality. Or you'll talk about like necrophilia. They'll use this kind of argument. Necrophilia is a really good one too, as well, that you can use instead of incest. And they'll say like, oh, well, the problem with necrophilia is people are so shocked and disgusted by it that it causes harm, and that's why necrophilia is bad. And then you say, well, okay, if some guy fucks a corpse in the woods and nobody knows about it, is that okay? So again, somebody like Sam Seder is supposed to have already thought about this shit and know how to answer these questions.
We need duties. We have responsibility as a society to keep us functioning, to keep us thriving. Your leftist view, the liberal view, doesn't provide anything besides it just makes me feel good. Religion does. So what's your argument?
I would have liked to hear the response there, but yeah. So it's a testament to how when your whole fucking shtick is just defending the status quo, you can get away with very little thinking. Because most people instinctively agree with you. You don't have to think that hard about your beliefs because you're so rarely going to be challenged by anybody who has thought it through the way this guy clearly has. So yeah, that was pretty good. Hey, what up, family? I'm a ding dong. It is I, your boy LP, and the clip you just watched is from my live stream show, The Daily Cope, which I do 4 to 5 times a week on Rumble, Odyssey, and my other YouTube channel. I will link all of them below if you want to check it out. And thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace out.